Welcome back, 365 Sports. Sorry, my speaker's all the way over there today.
I know.
And it's turned down because Jack was using it and didn't want to go deaf.
I respect that, too.
Last segment, we talked about the Biletnikoff odds put out by FanDuel, and it's about what you would expect, I think. There are some names here. There are 2 Oregon Ducks on this list and 2 Ohio State Buckeyes. Luther Burden, plus 300, he's the favorite, as he should be. Evan Stewart, plus 650, a little surprised about that because to this point, we've not seen him break out, but, I mean, I've even said, watch out for him at Oregon.
Yeah.
They're not going to be as stupid as Jimbo was, not figuring out a way to build some of your offense around that talent. And then Ted McMillan, plus 850. Tez Johnson, who I think may have more yards this year than Evan Stewart.
He could.
I think if I was going to do Oregon receivers, I'd flip those two. Because
you think people would be more focused on Evan and just try to shut him down and open up things for Tez?
No, I just think Tez is like more experienced, right? And so when it comes to Dylan Gabriel, I just think that's where he's going to go. Xavier Restrepo at the U. This guy is super good. Super good. Somebody asked him about it in the chat room earlier. He is inside, outside. He can do a lot of things. He's going to score a lot of touchdowns, I think. I think he's, those like slant routes, those like red zone. He's not a big guy, but he's someone who can get first downs in that. I think that he'll be I would not be surprised if he's a finalist for the award just based on the amount of catches he's going to have.
That's what I was going to say. Like, looking at him, how much of that goes into having Cam Ward slinging the rock to you? Because if that wasn't the case, you still had Van Dyke there, I don't think he would be in the mix.
Look, he might be better than he was last year, but he was not a bad player. It's not like he was raw or anything. He was one of their best players last year. He just didn't have anybody. But
correct.
I think sheer number of receptions for him is going to put him in the conversation. Okay. He's going to catch a lot. Like, he's going to be an 8-9 reception a game type guy most days because they're going to look for him on first downs. And, the other guys they have, Sammy Brown and Jacoby George, are more like legit stretch the field guys, and they'll both have probably pretty good years. But when it comes to the functionality of the offense and getting first downs, that's going to be Restrepo at Miami. So, yeah. And if he's does not have 100 catches in 12 games this year.
Cristobal gone?
I mean, he's not in trouble, but Mario Cristobal has to have one of those meetings with himself.
Yes.
Like where he just sits in a room.
Do some pondering.
What am I doing?
Right.
What am I doing? What am I doing? Like, we have this guy, because Xavier Restrepo is one of those guys I personally project out to go to the NFL. Like, he's going to be next year's Lad McConkey.
Oh, okay.
Wherever he goes, the people, or like Puka Nacua.
Yeah. Like
where he goes someplace and people are like, he already can do these things.
Under the radar, yeah.
Oh, he's okay. All right. Well, it's not, or they'll be excited about it, but they'll think, well, we'll bring him along slowly, and then he's going to be there, with 5 catches in his first game, and a touchdown, and people go, oh, okay, that's the kind of receiver he is. And then lower on the list, Emeka Ibuka and Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State. I'd maybe put Ibuka a little bit higher. Jeremiah Smith is a true freshman, so his odds being plus 1,600, even as highly touted he is it's not surprising to me. He's about in the right spot. I would maybe put Ibuka's odds a little higher.
Yeah, I'm looking at this and thinking, like, I could see definitely putting him – man, you might even be able to flip him – oh, gosh, I don't know. I would put him up in between – maybe you could flip him with Teterow and McMillan just because – oh, that's hard to say, though.
Well, I would put him in the same spot. Like,
yeah, they're
the
about the same.
Like,
I like what Teterow – I think Teterowa's combination with Noah Fafita throwing in the rock definitely is going to help. And that's probably Will Howard. We don't know truly what he's going to look like inside of this offense. But Ibuka's going to get his. Yeah. It's just weird to see him that low, honestly.
Yeah. Deion Burks.
He's hurt, didn't he?
No, he's not the one who's hurt.
Okay.
That's the other guy.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Deion Burks, going to have a good season. Sorry, Purdue fans. He's now in Oklahoma. He's going to have a really good season. Jackson Arnold, like that was a, hey, you're a starter now. And here's like, the sponsor's going to give you a Porsche or a Land Rover or something, but we're going to give you Deion Burks. Like, this is a gift from me, Brent Venables, to you, is getting Deion Burks.
They desperately, it's weird because Oklahoma hasn't had like that dude. Like Drake Stoops was good, but he typically would have been like your third or fourth caliber receiver if Oklahoma had typically what they have there. You had Theo Weiss that left, obviously some other players as well. It's just kind of weird not seeing Oklahoma have. So hopefully Burks can get back there and give them that number one threat that they're known for having.
Yeah, I know. I think he's gonna have a ton of opportunities there. And then the last two, I want. There's some like I try to think of names I would throw in here. Other than that, like Isaiah Bond, maybe a little bit lower. I think he can really break out. I think Matthew Golden at Texas might have a really good year if he's healthy.
This might be bias on my part, and you come at me if you want.
Kyron Lacey, yeah.
Come on.
Kyron Lacey, CJ Daniels, like
one of them,
yeah. If one of them's going to be in that mix. Trying to just think of other guys around, but the last two guys I do want to pay special note to, which are Kevin Concepcion, KC at NC State. Grayson McCall is going to feed this beast, so he's going to be a big time player this year, and I wonder if they don't get Grayson McCall, if KC might have gone in the transfer portal. Because if they don't get Grayson McCall, they're still kind of stuck in the middle at quarterback, where it wouldn't have been a bad quarterback, but it wouldn't have been a guy who can help you get like those numbers you need. I'll equate Grayson McCall's skill to like Clayton Tune, who was at Houston. He was a really good and he's an NFL quarterback right now, but he was really good. Like he was a really, really good college quarterback. And then Tank Dell got noticed because Clayton Tune knew how to find him. Now, look, not to say that the other quarterbacks weren't trying to look for KC last year with NC State, but I think that he's one that I bet you would have not taken as much like, oh, why didn't you go to Georgia? You know, like one of those kind of things where all of a sudden then if he was at Georgia, honestly, if he was at any place other than NC State, which is, an afterthought to a lot of people. And the fact he's on here shows that they're really looking at this. Yeah. But if he was at any place other than NC State, if he was at Clemson, if he was at North Carolina instead of NC State, even though NC State probably has a better quarterback, he'd be higher up on this list. Yep. That's the thing.
It's like recruiting. Like you don't have the right logo, so you're not going to be valued the same. It's one of those things.
And then Trey Harris from Ole Miss. I'll also call your attention to the other guy on the other side, Juice Wells, who came in from South Carolina.
Pretty good.
That's that receiving core is now Trey Harris, Juice Wells, Deion Smith, the number one JUCO prospect in the country. And, oh boy, that is why people are going to wonder about, like, because nobody talks about, they talk about Jackson Dart. They talk about what's going on in defense. They've not talked enough about Trey Harris, Juice Wells, Deion Smith. Those three are going to be lethal targets. Plus, they've got the tight end that's so damn good.
I keep
He's got a long name.
Yeah.
It's a cool name.
Yeah.
It's a cool name. I can't forget it. I'm sorry. Cool name, tight end guy. Prescorn.
Prescorn, yes.
Caden Prescorn. Thank you, Emery. Caden Prescorn. Yeah. No, he had the huge bowl game for them. Yeah. So they're going to be fun to watch. They're going to be super fun to watch.